Hi, everyone. Welcome to my kitchen, KK's Fake Kitchen, for another episode of In the Kitchen with KK. Here we are, fall season. And of course, Thanksgiving has always been the highlight of the harvest. So I keep a big bowl of inspiration on my counter to remind me of the root veggies, the squashes. These are things that are very high, typically in beta carotene, that orange antioxidant, right? We've got acorn squash, we've got spaghetti squash. I keep my onions in here. These are things that don't need to go in the refrigerator so we can be inspired. What are we doing today? Well, here we are. The fall season is also the highlight of flu season for people, and they're worried about getting flu shots and things like that. Well, we really need to take care of our immune system. That starts with food, it starts with you, and it starts with cutting back on sugar, because they found that sugar will greatly reduce your immune response, and that response will last for up to 5 hours, making you very susceptible to the bugs that are floating around. If any of you have my little bookmark that I have with my book, I have many tips of how to improve your immune system. And yes, one of those is cutting sugar. So what are we doing today? Yay. So Thanksgiving coming up, right? Tomorrow. And two recipes that I absolutely adore that are generally filled with sugar. Now, why do we want to cut back? Well, maybe because we want to enjoy a dessert. There's ways to cut sugar out of everything. And I show that in my book. I'm the creator of the bioenergetic cooking method, looks at food as energy, also helps you explore the different areas of the body and gain a reverence for how important food is for the health of your body. So today, I'm gonna slightly edit it, but it's a recipe, the sweet potato casserole with pecan crumble. This is from the spleen section. Spleen likes a little sweet, like from a sweet potato, but not too much sweet, like from all the processed foods, bakery items, donuts, muffins, cookies, all of this stuff. So, and the spleen is related to our immune system and our lymphatic system. So this is great, the sweet potato crumble, because a classic recipe for sweet potato that are geared by those big food companies, Pillsbury and Kraft, with the marshmallows on top and conventional brown sugar or white sugar in there, way too much when sweet potatoes are sweet on their own. So we're going to do the topping with delicious, naturally sweet pecans and other items. And we're going to sweeten it a little bit with maple syrup, pure Vermont maple syrup. And we're actually not going to add any sugar to the filling, even though in my recipe I have a couple tablespoons, or is it a couple tablespoons I put in there? No, actually, the recipe doesn't have any. I thought I had a couple tablespoons of maple syrup in the recipe, but so you don't, and we're not going to put it in either. The other thing we're going to do is cranberry sauce. Now, I grew up cranberry sauce. Because we have a sweet palate, people generally put way too much sugar in the sauce, or they buy the cans of the gelled, we had it too, the jelly cranberry, and slice it. That's filled with high fructose corn syrup. Way too much. You really want that sour punch to complement the savory dressing and the meat. These are perfect. Cranberries are high in antioxidants, these plant compounds, also antimicrobial, and it helps to remove bacteria, especially if you get a lot of UTIs. So we're going to be putting in, these little cuties are in all over now. So we're going to be putting some orange in there. Orange and cranberry goes really great together. I've already got the water boiling. I'm going to be peeling just two of these because I'm making a slightly smaller version for myself. So we've got a 3-quart stock pot here and just a 2-quart stock pot. So let me get reorganized, get my apron on, get those things peeled and ready to go. Two beautiful sweet potatoes peeled. Just make sure you have a sharp peeler with a comfortable grip, and everything works out great. So I love cutting my root vegetables with a very sharp, fine knife like this. So the Santuca blades are excellent. Get both sizes if you want. Just cut off the little tips here. And then uniformity in your slices is important for cooking time. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just check a size that you like. It cooks quicker, obviously, if they're smaller. So I basically just slice them maybe a ½ inch or a little bit more. And cut the bigger ones in half like this, or quarter. And the water's already boiling. So that's great. We're just going to cook these until they're fork tender. And because then we are going to hand mash them with the old-fashioned hand mixer. Water's already boiling here. It's great. One more cut. We're going to get these all in. I'm going to salt them with this wonderful sea salt I get from the farmer's market. There's a salt guy, and it is a cinnamon sea salt. So perfect opportunity to use that in this recipe. All right, these are all done. So just have your prep bowls ready. It's just so much easier to keep everything organized and transfer. So here's the sea salt. If you are in the Sarasota area, sea salt, Florida, see the cinnamon sea salt? I have lots of different ones. I have black charcoal. I have blueberry. I put a little black charcoal in water. If you know about charcoal, charcoal's great for chelating chemicals, grabbing onto chemicals in the body and helping to get them out and to help with any bloating and things like that. All right, so the water is boiling. Fantastic. Let's get this filled up. I think I have a perfect amount here. We're going to set the timer for 15 minutes. We'll check them at 15 minutes. Let's get a little nice sea salt over them. Have a nice piece of cinnamon stick in there. All right. So while those are cooking, we're going to make the crumble topping. All right, now get excited about that. It's going to have pecans, and we're going to be making it in the food processor right here. Just make your life easy. Food processors, I use them so much. And if you do have one of my books, a lot of the recipes are used in there. So like a nice cupful. If you have leftover topping, you can just save it in a glass jar. So what I do is I break down the pecans quickly first. Then I add everything else. Pecans are a much softer nut, so it doesn't take as long. Like almonds are harder. It's going to take, you definitely want to do almonds first before, like when you're making some of the snack balls. Walnuts are also another soft nut. So, you can hear this. That's fine. We just want it broken down a little. Then we're going to mix in the other ingredients. And this is really easy here. So we need some super fine almond flour. We need ground flax. Now, the recipe calls for 2 tablespoons. If you want to put in a little bit more, because flax is high in omega-3s, it's great fiber, you can. This scoop right here is about a tablespoon. So I'm actually going to add a little bit more to mine, which is great. I'm used to using ground fresh flaxseed in a lot of recipes. I like getting it. So feel free to increase that amount for that. And we're going to be using some organic coconut sugar. Now, coconut sugar, as opposed to conventional brown sugar, which I used all growing up, it is not refined. That's the difference. So it's lower glycemic. The body assimilates it more slowly, keeping our blood sugar stable. It is still a sweet. So the amount of sugar that's going in here is just a 1/4 cup. And where we're going to drizzle fun is on the top with some Vermont maple syrup. Whoops. Top here. Okay, so we obviously need some cinnamon. Ceylon cinnamon is my favorite. The recipe calls for ½ teaspoon. If you feel inspired to increase that a little bit more, that is fine. I just put a heaping ½ teaspoon in. So what I love about baking and cooking is the creativity part of it. Okay, so then the coconut oil. Now, this is the brand you've seen that I bake with. The coconut oil is a medium chain fat. It's going to give you nutrients that help to balance your blood sugar and give you energy as well. All right, so I'm measuring this out. I can see about it. Actually, I'm gonna finish this because we're almost done. The only time you will need to melt it is if it's hard. So if your house is cold, but it's usually a little warmer here. And so let me grab one more thing and then we'll be right back to get that finished up. So with the almond flour, I only like the super fine almond flour. I use it in cookies and other things, and it's got a very low conversion as opposed to other flours, even you know, some of the gluten-free flours, of converting into sugar, and that's carbs, total carbs minus your fiber divided by 5. So like things like cassava, it's going to be a little bit higher, but because this is a nut. So this is a perfect topping. We want it to be a little bit crumbly. And by adding the coconut oil, it's going to make it a little bit moist. All right. So you just have to coat it a little bit more here. And you can see it's perfect. All right. So let's just get that into a bowl, prep bowl to add on top. Woo. And these little gems, I don't need to have everything out when I'm doing the video because I have my drawer right here and I want you guys to see the flow of cooking and why it's important to have things handy and organized so you always know where something is. But these little spatulas are perfect to get down into, especially your food processor. All right, so we got all of that beautiful crumble. And you can lick your fingers. It's fun. So this smells amazing. Now, what we are going to do on the top of it is I'm melting a little bit of grass-fed butter. We're going to drizzle that on the top and drizzle a little bit of Vermont maple syrup. And that's where you're going to get that pop of sweet that makes it taste like a dessert. So we don't have to do marshmallows or lots of brown sugar. All right, so these are cooking. Let's get this area cleaned up and we're going to put together the cranberry sauce. Cranberries are just as much American as apple pie, right? Cranberries. So organic ones are controlled in a bog where the water is spring fed. Huge, because they're grown in a bog. So if the bog is filled with contaminated water, you're getting those contaminants into the cranberries. So it's just important to buy them. Buy lots of them at this time when they are organic. You freeze the entire bag. Perfect. And I have this really great smoothie in the bladder and the lymphatic section here, the organic cranberry cleansing smoothie. It's really great with kale and pineapple and lemon and bananas. You really enjoy that. So it's great to have cranberries on hand. Why also is because the winter season, which we'll move into in the late toward the end of December, that is the kidney season, and the kidneys are where we build up that energy through the winter. We need those heavy antioxidants. So we're just going to give these a rinse and yourself a nice strainer like this. Now, not everyone has filtered water in their house like I do, but I do. If you have filtered water under your sink, make sure you're rinsing your organic stuff with filtered water. So I filter all the water in my house. It's really important to do that, air and water. So it's a nice rinse. And we're going to finish up with the orange because we're using fresh oranges in this. You can see I've decorated them with some star fruit. If you have that, there's a really nice, beautiful look to accent your dish after. So we are using filtered water, but we're also using about half a cup of orange juice. So these little cuties come in big bags and I can't possibly eat them all. So I've just been juicing a few. I actually use my little lemon juicer for these little ones. And this juicer works perfect to get the massive amount of juice out without any waste. Okay, just got one more here. So this is about a quarter cup and I already have that. So we've got the orange juice. And let me just fill this up with filtered water, which I always have out because I am staying hydrated all day. The pan is already heating here. So we've got a total of 1 cup of liquid. It's already ready to go. Let's get the cranberries in there. Get them covered. We're going to do a zest of a little bit of orange as well. So it's nice to have a zester microplane here. Be careful, they're very, very sharp. So very simple. You know, I use this for my ginger root or dressings. But just get your zest. So I'm just going to do the whole little guy here. Another reason to have organic goods because the outsides are where the natural pesticides are going to be. Right? See, so we have a nice zest going on here. So let's just get that in to the mix. And we can add a little bit of zest to the sweet potatoes as well. All right, so that's going to cook with just maple syrup. Here, just 2 tablespoons. That's what this guy is. Don't need much. Maple syrup, natural. The body recognizes all the natural ingredients, qualities of it, but it is very sweet. Okay, beautiful. So we're just going to let that cook until for a little bit here until the cranberries start to pop. We're going to get the oranges in there too. Where does put the cover? Oh, here it is. All right, awesome. Let me get cleaned up. While the sweet potatoes, we can check those. They are almost ready. So we're going to be able to whip those up in a few minutes here. So I peeled up about 3 of these little cuties. You can do 4. It doesn't matter if you like a few more. We're going to be adding those to the cranberries now and giving them a stir. It's okay to put those in after because cranberries, obviously, a little bit harder. They're going to start to pop, the cranberries, when they get hot. You'll hear them start to explode. So what we're going to do now, the smell of the oranges is so invigorating. It's a scent that is great for your mind. It's calming. It's happy. So what I love about this steamer basket, so it's got a nice center that you can pull out. And we're just going to tip this upside down in the pan here. Make our life easy. Put the cover on, turn this off. So now we're just going to use a hand mixer to mix this up with some vanilla, little bit of almond milk, and you can put in a few pads of, if you're not doing it fully vegan, some butter, which is fantastic in this. So let me just grab that right here. Over the other. So fantastic. So let's get a nice pad of butter in here, and some of the cinnamon sea salt is perfect. There's a little bit on it, but let's get a little bit more. And we're going to sprinkle on some more cinnamon. Nice pinch here. The topping's going to have cinnamon, but I like the insides also. Cinnamon. And let me just grab the milk. So this is the clean almond milk, just 3 simple ingredients: filtered water, sprouted organic almonds, and sea salt. So you know what you're getting. We just need about 1/4 cup, which I can eyeball here easily. If you like it a little thinner, you can add a little bit more. Super easy. So this is fun. I used to love mixing as a kid. Here. Don't start it too high, else everything will fly all over. The oven has been turned on to 375. I'm going to bake it. You can also, because everything is cooked, you could broil it on low. Just make sure you don't boil it too long. So you just want this nice and smooth. Just move it down here into the center. A deeper bowl is a little bit better, but this one's fine. So you can lick those later. Get this out of the way. All right, here's the, so this is from Le Creuset. This is a great little, now if you're doing it for a larger, you're gonna need more. The recipe calls for 4, I use 2, you see, but it makes quite a bit. Oh, I'm gonna use that little spatula that I had. So let's just get this in here. That is greased with a little bit of coconut oil. So let's just get this all in. It already smells amazing. So part of the fun of cooking is, you know, your whole body gets ready to eat. You can taste stuff. So you're really getting your whole body and mind mixed into the process here. Flatten that out a little bit. You do want it to have a little bit of texture, so you don't need to make it super flat. So this crumble is, it might be a little bit too much for this smaller part of a recipe. But like I said, I mean, I could even turn this into energy balls if I want to. So just get this kind of situated. I eat this as dessert. It's freaking great. You know, I do my pumpkin pies too with this coconut milk and eggs. And so we have a little bit of extra here that we don't need. I'll save that for something else. So what we are going to do for fun that you can do, we're going to drizzle, and this will give it a little bit of a more crunchy crispiness. So we're going to drizzle some of the organic butter on top. If you're keeping this fully vegan, you don't have to do this. It's fine. And then in the same little measuring cup, so you don't dirty another one, put in a couple tablespoons. That's 1/2 cup. So we're putting this on top. You really only need like 1.5 tablespoons. It's a little bit too much. So fantastic. This is ready to go. We're going to get it in the oven. I'm setting the timer for 20 minutes to see if it's enough. And then I might just finish it off with a low broil so the top gets nice and crispy. So this is ready to go. Timer. Okay, so we're gonna get cleaned up and then we're gonna check the cranberry sauce, and those are the easy, simple, delicious recipes that we're doing today. Thanks for tuning in here in KK's Fit Kitchen. Let's check our beautiful cranberry sauce here. What you can smell is how amazing the cranberries and the orange mixture smells like. So you're going to want to turn this down once it starts to boil. You can see here, we're getting a nice mixture. So delicious. This is exactly what you want. You want that tart, a little bit of sweet. We're going to put it into this dish. It's nice to have a serving dish. A red one would be really great, but I don't have a red bowl that is perfect for this. We're going to use a dark blue. This will be great. And the sweet potato dish is still cooking, so we're almost wrapped up here. Okay, we're going to wrap up this. I took the cover off about 5 minutes ago, so some of the liquid can boil out, steam out, and it'll be a little bit thicker. The timer's gone off for our sweet potato crumble. Let's get this baby out. It's perfect. So I only cooked it for like 10 minutes, and then I put the broil on low. So I want to overdo it. You know, everything is already cooked on this. So this is amazing. Can't wait to try this later. And here is our sauce ready to scoop out. What I would do is get like a big spoon. You can let it cook down a little bit more if you like it thicker. But, oh gosh, this is amazing. Now, if you have to, you can add a little bit more maple syrup, but this is supposed to be a little bit tart. And this is where you're going to get your antioxidants from. And this is how it's going to blend so well with all of the sweet things on the table. Savory, sweet, salty, right? Beautiful. So here we go. Beautiful alternative to your cranberry sauce. And you can garnish it with a little bit of star fruit or just a little bit of fresh, the little clementines or cuties. Thanks for stopping by today. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Get involved in the cooking process. It really helps you appreciate the food you're eating and get your body ready while you're tasting everything delicious. Have an awesome day, guys.